Welcome back to the Ricky Matthews Show from the Citizens Bank studio. I enjoyed that conversation with Linda Hornsby. She's doing such a terrific job working in the hotel industry. And that conversation about human trafficking reminds me, I got to refocus on that. That's something I spent a lot of time talking about, and we haven't talked about it in a while. We got to get back on that. I think I'll invite the Attorney General to join me so she can help sort of recalibrate all that. Hey, recently I was watching WLOX-TV. My friend Carrie Duncan, who was on the show a little bit over a year ago, we told her a whole story. And I sent her a note. I was so impressed with here she was in the middle of the night watching the storms as they came through. And just sent her a note and said, hey, really, you're doing a really good job. When the storms come through, it might be a hurricane. It might just be a bad front. It might be whatever it might be, the cold weather we had recently. You turn to your local meteorologist to really understand what the local impact is going to be. And I just feel like Carrie's doing a great job of that. On the heels of that, though, she announces that she's leaving WLOX at the end of this particular contract period and going to spend more time with her family, but she's also joining Ingalls. And it's a great team that's been assembled at Ingalls. I know them all. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. I've invited Carrie to join us for the next two segments to talk a little bit more about her time at WLOX, what she's going to be doing next, and we'll look back just a little bit. How you doing, Carrie?
Hey, doing great, Ricky. How are you?
It's good to see you. I was blown away when I looked that it had been over a year since you and I visited. It seems like 6 months ago.
I know, it's flown. I mean, time really has flown. And I remember I was in our back office and I was like, ooh, let me take my hair down. I was like, I'm going to look a little bit better for this one.
Yeah, no, you do. You look great. You looked great last time, incidentally. So no worries there whatsoever. I'm thrilled. I saw you showed me your crown, but you're going to be the 2024 Colleen for the Hibernia. Yeah, it's exciting for you. Look at you.
I have a sash.
Yeah, there you go. That's going to be a lot of fun. I've had so many friends that have been involved over the years. You looking forward to it?
I am very excited about it. I've been trying to buy a little bit at a time, prices of everything going up, trying to just kind of squirrel things away. And my Grand Marshal, Alwyn Lucky, I've been working a lot and communicating with his wife, Janine. And so, it's just been really, it's fun. It's a lot. It's busy, but we had a great party. We've got our lace curtain Blarney luncheon coming up at Ground Zero on the 17th of February. So, there's still time, and it's a small organization. And I guess for me, I was always looking for something. I've never really joined a Mardi Gras, and it's not because I don't love Mardi Gras. It's because my schedule, honestly, at the station, it's so hard to commit to something because if the weather changes or if someone gets sick, I have to fill in. And so really haven't been able to do a whole lot of stuff because I don't want to commit to something and be like, oh, sorry. And so this is it's like 7 to I think like maybe 6 to 8 events a year. Yeah. And that's included in the price. It's like $100 to join. And it's just for fun.
I know. Listen, it's a great fun organization, a lot of history there, a lot of heritage there. Incidentally, you couldn't have picked a better Grand Marshal because Alwyn Lucky and his wife Jeannie are the master organizers. They understand how that stuff works. And one of the joys of doing this show, in fact, was the opportunity to have her on for an hour and tell her incredibly resilient story. I mean, it's an amazing story, isn't it?
It really is. And just their love. It actually reminds me a lot of my aunt and uncle, who have just within the past year, a little bit more, passed away. My aunt was injured in Katrina, from a tree limb fell on her and she was paralyzed from the chest down. So very similar to Jeannie. And it's so, I was telling my mom, I was like, gosh, so much of her reminds me of Alice Gray. Now she is younger and she was younger when the accident happened, but it's just, when you see someone who gives care to their spouse, and I mean, she is a spitfire. She is funny. And I mean, it just doesn't hold her back. And so I don't know. I just think that it's a really, really neat story. And when you can see people who grow closer through such, tragedy, but also triumph. I mean, for her still being here, it really is just.
They really, as a couple, they define resiliency. And I talk about it here on the show all the time. But, it's we accept where we are, and we're going to move on, and we're going to live our lives, and we're going to love life, and it's just been very inspiring to watch. So, after all of these years, I never thought, I thought that 10, 20 years from now, we're going to be talking to Carrie Duncan, and you're just going to continue to be this fixture in the weather team at WLX's incredible good weather team that you guys had today. I know you bragged effusively about that the last time we talked, but
I'd still brag about it now. I still think they're fantastic.
They really are a good team, and I'm proud of you for helping to assemble that team. But your husband just recently got into the political scene. He was elected to the Board of Supervisors and for Harrison County. I'm excited actually about having him on the show to tell his story. I had Nathan Barrett on recently, and we told his story. But I think new blood is good. I know he's really looking forward to it. When he announced he was going to run, there was no looking back, and next thing you know, he gets elected, and here we go.
Yeah, he really is just balancing his full-time job and this new role as supervisor and learning along the way. But, he takes time off from his work and he goes over to do his supervisor role. He's, the county's got 3 big positions they're trying to hire for right now. So, he's been sitting in on some of those interviews, and, he just wants to be able to help. And that is honestly what I admire so much about him, is that he really does want to just do right for South Mississippi. And he's very adamant that it's not his office. It is District 1's office.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I really, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I can't wait to get to know him better. I look forward to having him on the show and telling his story. But that's got nothing. His getting elected has zero to do with you leaving WLOX.
Absolutely nothing. The only thing that it has to do with is how much busier he is. Like next week, he's got to go up to Jackson. So we've got to find somebody to watch the kids because I've got to work, and I just need to be able to be here in the evenings. My schedule's going to be 7 to 3. I'm going to be able to pick up the boys every day, get them to practice, go watch their games, and not have to be like, can you switch with me so I can run to my kid's game and then come back? So, the basic thing, the reason why is because of my family. That is 100% why I'm retiring from television. And before I even got in, people told me women in television have a higher divorce rate than men. And it's really hard, especially on moms, just because of the time that you have to put in. And they're set times. And when I was talking to Renee and Rick, Renee, our news director, and Rick, our general manager, I was like, I'm not trying to change the news business for me. It's not fair that I can't put in everything to the station anymore because it deserves it. And I'm a loyal person and I'm a dutiful employee. And so I definitely wanted to make sure that they're getting the best too. And when I started feeling like I wasn't able to give that, then I was like, I've got to do something when my brain is so split and being like, I'm missing my kid's game right now. I really felt guilty about that. And the kids are getting older. They're 7 and 9 now, Ricky. And they're like, Mom, why do you have to go back to work? We don't want you to leave. And I'm like, well, I don't want to leave either. But do you like the house we live in? Do you like your toys and tablets? I said, we have to have an income to pay for those things. So
let's just think about it for a second. You're part of an award-winning team at WLOX, and we've had terrific conversations about your journey that took you to places like Erie, Pennsylvania, and then back here. We'll put a link to that conversation with this conversation. But you're leaving an award-winning team. You're going to an award-winning team. I talk a lot about Ingalls Shipbuilding, how strategically important it is for this nation. It's one of the important economic development bookends here. Has a woman CEO that's setting the world on fire, and it's an incredible team that you're joining. I know so many of them. You got to feel like you kind of knocked it out of the park.
I am. I'm really excited. And like I said in the break before, I prayed about it. I talked to my preacher about it. And I was like, I need you to help me, like really get that direct line to say, I need you to yell at me. I need a flashing neon light because it is scary. I'm changing from something that I've always known. And I feel like I can just, people are like, you're on, and I can go, oh, well, good evening. Well, and I could just start talking ad nauseum almost. And so this is going to be a different arena. And I am very excited about it. And I've always been the type of person who believes I can really do anything I put my mind to. If I don't know how to do it, teach me, I can learn. And so I told Lisa Bradley, she's going to be my direct boss. She hired me, and she was just like, I said, if you have the faith in me, then 100%, I know that gives me the confidence to know that I can do it. Yeah. So I'm just really looking forward to it, because I do think that it's a fantastic opportunity, and it came up at the right time. I mean, it was right time, right job.
Listen, I had the same experience when I had to decide to leave the Sun Herald. I love the Sun Herald and the people there, and I thought about it for over 4 months, to be honest with you. And then their decision to retire. I mean, you reach these forks in the road, and you say, God, do I leave at the height of my career? What do I do? And you make decisions. I prayed about it too, to be quite honest with you. Hey, when we come back, we'll continue our conversation with WLOX star, the chief meteorologist from WLOX, Carrie Duncan. We'll see you after this. Welcome back to the Ricky Matthews Show. I have my friend Carrie Duncan, and one of the great things about doing this show is the opportunity to sort of dive into big decisions that the public's, wrapping your head around. The thought of Carrie Duncan, after over 21 years at WLOX, leaving WLOX to be a better mom and to still contribute back to the community through a new role at Ingalls. But it's amazing. Over 21 years. It's hard to really, when you think about it.
I'm legal at LOX now.
Hey, listen, I had been at the Sun Herald for 27 years. I mean, it's a hard decision to make to leave, isn't it?
It really is, because it's just like, people, of course, tell you, you're so good at it. Why do you want to leave? And it really, again, it was to be able to spend more time with my family and fulfill my mama duties. My little mama heart and my mama guilt is just back there constant. And so I talked to my husband about it, and he was just like, if this is what you feel is right, I support you. And that's what I told him when he was going to run. I'm like, and if this is what you want to do, I support you. We're both old enough adults to know that when we've made a decision, we can talk it through. And if it sounds like a good idea, we'll go for it.
Let's roll. Yeah. And I admire you for making that decision. Like I said, I've been there myself before. If you look back on your career, and I look back on mine at the Sun Herald, for sure Katrina was the pinnacle event. We were doing so much good work before the storm. After the storm, we got a chance to really understand what public service journalism was all about. But this Katrina, is that sort of a pinnacle moment for you too?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It really was the first and only, big storm that I worked. I remember sending an email to one of my friends. I'm like, I don't even know if my house is going to be here when this is done. This is crazy, because I was 25 when I came down here. So, 21 years goes pretty quickly. And I'm just thinking, as a 25-year-old who is a new homeowner, it's what's happening? I was cutting the wood for my windows and putting it up, and I had great neighbors. And so I was able to kind of call them until the lines went down, and they were like, yeah, everything's fine here. So, and Billy Skelly kept the water on my house in Long Beach. And so, Long Beach never lost water, which was fantastic, because I was able to go home and take a shower. But yeah, it was just crazy after. I just remember just crying and being like, I just want this to be a bad dream. That was my biggest thing that I think I remember. And I went through a lot of guilt, because I was like, I really didn't even lose anything. People lost their homes. People lost family members. People lost way more than I did. But in talking to a therapist, it's like, that doesn't discount that you still lost a part of your normal life. So that's going to be a big adjustment, and it's okay to feel that way. And I was like, okay, I guess that does make sense, because, we're in the world where we compare ourselves to other people, which we shouldn't do, but we do that. And so I'm like, I don't want to belittle somebody else's much bigger grief over something than me.
Hey, so Carrie, you think about it, after Katrina, I remember giving speeches saying that before Katrina, I used to say in speeches that newspapers were vital to keeping democracy viable. And I really believed it. But it was after Katrina that I really understood the importance of providing news and information to people so they can make decisions about how they want their community rebuilt and so on. It made me a better publisher. I watch you guys. You guys, you never viewed big weather events the same again. It's not just information you're providing to the community, although it is certainly that, but there's an empathy behind it, and and for new people who are coming to the community, there's a dogged determination to help them understand why they have to take whatever it is you're talking about seriously, because you've seen it in ways that maybe the average meteorologist in the world hasn't seen it. That's a big deal, isn't it?
It really is. I tell people we do have, you're getting a little scoop right here, a new hire. He's part-time right now, but we're going to introduce him. We introduced him on actually Friday. And so he's new and he's young. So I'm pleading with everyone, be nice, be very nice to people on TV. He is learning and he is growing. And I think he has just super potential for us here to really help round out the team again once I step away. But I don't know. I just think that it's important to, number one, give everyone a chance. But number two, what did you ask? What was the?
Yeah, it's just the role that you know better than anyone, yes, how important your role is in a community.
Yes. And it's also about not freaking people out because we can get, stressed out
yes,
too. And so when you convey that, and people told me when we had that severe weather the other night, they were like, oh, I could tell you were a little bit stressed. I was like, yeah, because it was really near my house. It was very, very close to the house.
Yes.
And went over some of my friends' houses and they had trees snapped in their backyard. So, it's things like that I just feel like it's been like boom, boom, boom since I've announced.
It has been. And new meteorologists, they'll have to experience it to truly appreciate what it is you're telling them. And we'll be patient for sure. But listen, you're part of Coastal Mississippi. You'll still be part of Coastal Mississippi in your new role.
I feel like I'll be able to be out a little bit more.
Yeah, we wish you well. We wish you well in your new role.
Thank you so much.
God bless you, my friend. God bless you God bless you for making these tough decisions. That's for sure. This has been Carrie Duncan from WLOX. Listen, have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.